great friend of the program. He's been with NFL Network he was with NFL Network for so many years from 2012 and on. No, he was already out of football at the time.
That was week 6
Week
back in
6,
2010.
man.
Yeah.
Okay. And what he has built himself is quite a hell of a career, post-playing career. Also on American Ninja Warrior, the author of Everyone Can Be a Ninja, Find Your Inner Warrior and Achieve Your Dreams, now available now in paperback. And now part of the Beverly Hills Dog Show presented by Purina, that's on NBC on Sunday night at 8 Eastern Time. My friend Akbar Gbajabiamila. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Rich. You have a dog, too, don't you?
Oh, I have 2, sir.
Okay, I figured that.
I have 2, and they
what kind of dogs do you have?
We have 2 rescues, but they are purebreds. Okay. My wife saw a golden retriever right around this time 2 years ago, who was thrown in a trash can, believe it or not, in Buena Park, California.
Oh, wow.
We went and got her. And then there was a white English golden that was tied to a boat somewhere near the Nevada-California border. We drove and got her. And Akbar, every single time we have a dog in our household, which is now 20 years running, I get knocked down a peg in terms of the most important being in the house. I get, you know what? Every time.
I've experienced that too. I know exactly what you mean, and I think there are a lot of husbands out there who know exactly what you mean.
You know, when my wife and we got married, 2003, we moved out here for NFL Network. We rescued Hudson, who was roaming the streets of Southern California here in Los Angeles. He was a mix. We thought he had to be a mix of a German Shepherd and a Lab and Akita. He's a beautiful dog. He lived 15 years.
Hold on, let me call you out real quick. Because this is one of my pet peeves, no pun intended.
Oh.
Well, when people start naming just like, oh, my dog's Akita and this and that. Look, they didn't do a 23andMe on dogs. I don't think they do that. Like so.
Oh yes, they do.
Those up?
Oh yes, they do. Are you kidding me?
23andMe on dogs?
Akbar. Yes, they do. And my wife, Susie, 23andMe. Like we literally. Yes, you can do this.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Oh wow, this is no longer a pet peeve. Then this is an interest.
No, say that again, Chris. You can say it. I mean, he's Akbar's.
Akbar, look, it seems like you should know that before you host a dog show.
Excuse me. No, I'm not a DNA specialist. Okay.
By the way, how many mixed breed rescues were at the Beverly Hills Dog Show?
None.
Presented by Purina. 0 exactly. Full Blutarski. Full Blutarski.
Well, you know, it's crazy because at the Beverly Hills Dog Show, they have 2 new breeds that the American Kennel Club just allowed in. The Barbet, which is a French dog, and the Dogo Argentino. So
now, stand down. Oh, by the way, you just went Dogo Argentino, are you?
No, yeah. A lot of people don't know, but like that's been kind of my side passion is our dogs. I train my own dogs. Now I have mixed breeds, so my dogs don't qualify to be in the Beverly Hills Dog Show. But that's just one of those things. I remember early on, my very first couple of years at the NFL Network, I would go after I finished doing the fantasy show. I would go train dogs. And my wife was like, "What are you doing? You spend all day at the studio, and then you go train people's dogs." And I would do it for like $50 just because, to me, it was a time to get away. I love spending the time with the pets. I never advertised it. People heard about it, and so I've trained everything from German Shepherds to Pit Bulls. Never a mixed dog, actually. Believe it or not, I've never trained a mixed dog. But anyways, so that's kind of how when this popped up for me, the Beverly Hills Dog Show, I wanted to do more or less behind the scenes. So myself, Maria Menounos, we do the behind the scenes, just kind of taking you to because there's a lot that goes on, which reminds me a little bit about the NFL and professional sports and the preparation for these dogs and what they have, the owners and the trainers that they have to go through in order to get the dogs ready, from the concentration drills to all of the manicure and pedicures and whatever it is that they do for the grooming for the dogs. It's pretty intense. So it's definitely going to be a great family show to watch.
Oh, yeah.
this weekend.
Oh, we'll be on that. That's for sure. You're a big hit in my household, as you know, Akbar, because of the American Ninja Warrior. I've told you that over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking to hopefully to get back into filming. We've been all kind of put on pause right now,
of course, given
the coronavirus. So we're hoping to get put back on the go here. We'll see kind of how things unfold. It's obviously a very fluid thing, but this is a great time we talk about no sports and how sports is kind of rolling out. I think this is a kind of a great way to get a little bit of family time in, some sports in it's a different type of show, but these are dog ninja warriors, so to speak.
I love it. Well, let's put a pin in the dog conversation for a moment and circle back one more time, because I love dogs as much as you do too here. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL story of the day. Did you hear this about James Harrison? Akbar, have you heard about this?
I heard the $75,000 that he was fined for that big hit, and Mike Tomlin just gave him an envelope, like on the streets, like, yo, here you go, clean that up kind of thing. I'm kind of baffled by that, but I always know that I knew James Harrison has this issue with Mike Tomlin, because he and who's the other guy, Antonio Brown, that they've kind of partnered up and they've kind of been buddied, and it looks like, from me, just and again, I don't know that locker room, have not been in it, and I'm not saying whether he's lying or not. I don't know, but I do know that they partnered up, him and Antonio, on this smear campaign against Mike Tomlin. So it's odd that it would come out at this time. I don't know why he would give him $75,000 when James Harrison's making, an uber amount of money more than Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, let's just throw it all out there then. But in your 5 seasons of playing in the NFL and multiple seasons of covering it and knowing as many players as you do, have you ever heard of something like that where
never
an envelope is handed to a player?
No. I mean, I think there's a lot of stories out there about the Oakland Raiders. The bad boys of sports and bad boys of football. And I've seen some crazy things when I was with the Raiders. But that, to me, if that was going to happen, that would happen under the myth and the mystique of the Oakland Raiders. I mean, I don't know what coach is making that kind of cheese to just go, yo, here's 75 racks for that hit that we know you're going to get fined for, and so here you go. I'm going to pay your bill for it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, and it's so out of character for Tomlin too.
Right.
I mean, it just makes no sense that Tomlin's going to be like, okay, great hit, and and days after the hit, he's still so intense and outraged by it. He's going to find a whole bunch of cash, stick it in an envelope, and hand it to James Harrison, who hasn't said anything about it for 10 years.
I think what you have to do is you kind of have to look at the relationship to be able to get a little bit more behind this story. Just because you put something out there, especially right now, I think the sports world, we're starving for stories, and this is a great way if you're going to, maybe engage in a smear campaign or just to get your name floating out there. You put a story out front like that. But how do you verify something like that? I mean, where are you going to go on a paper chase? You're going to go look at 10 years. I think after every 7 years, don't they erase your bank statements or something? I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't think you can go 7 years, more than 7 years, and get your bank records. So how do they even find that? You know what I mean?
Akbar Gbajabiamila here on the Rich Eisen Show. And there's one thing that Harrison did point out on what is this, his Instagram feed today, Chris, when he brings
yes.
is that there was he did get caught up in what the NFL was doing at the time, which was midstream in the middle of the season, changing the way that they were asking players, like they added a point of emphasis mid-season, which never happens. That never, ever happens. They usually will add a point of emphasis in the off-season or in the preseason if you want to be late, but very rare will they say, we're going to add a point of emphasis on hitting somebody in the game. And because, as Harrison points out, the hit on Massaquoi was not flagged. And it was, fined later on, that happens all the time in the NFL. But I remember that. Remember that? It was that hit. It was the hit that Dante Robinson blew up Deshaun Jackson, and then Brandon Merriweather went top rope on Todd Heap. So, he is kind of right about that.
Nice with the WWE reference. But, I do remember that hit, and I also remember that time. And that was a very frustrating time, too, for players the defense players, just because it's like, you know, a lot of that has to do with muscle memory. And now you're telling me to change that, especially when, you know, those bang-bang plays and instincts. It's very hard to just say, hey, and then we're going to fine you because you can't turn that off. That's awkward. That was weird. But who knows? I wonder where this story goes. I don't know that it goes far, though, Rich, to be honest with you, unless he can show that he's got bank statement and proof of that $75,000 in an envelope.
So let's just switch gears a little bit here. Why do you think Cam? I get asked this question all the time. Why isn't Cam in a camp right now? Why doesn't he have a job? Do you think?
That one is baffling to me because the truth is Cam Newton is still a very, very talented quarterback, and I would have to imagine that it has a lot to do with, you know, personality and how he fits into a team. Because, you know, it's cool watching this Last Dance thing, and it kind of takes you back to being in a locker room and just the dynamic and chemistry of players. And when you have moving pieces, you can still be talented, and yet when, especially I'm talking about with the Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Olympic, 92 Olympics, and just to hear Magic Johnson, Jordan, them talking about just the dynamics of a team, people forget about that. Isaiah wasn't a bum, but, you know, he felt that he was going to be disruptive to that team. And I think there's concerns about Cam Newton being disruptive to a team, especially a team that could go far. But I just don't know where he would land. I look at all of the different teams, and I go, who's going to – but does Cam Newton – it's a confusing question because I cannot imagine football without Cam Newton for the 2020 season. That just doesn't – that's not realistic. I mean, he's better than a lot of quarterbacks out there.
I agree with you. I think maybe he's just going to wait until somebody gets hurt, or I don't know, or hopefully, you know, whatever's going on with the virus can be eased to the point where, you know, therapeutics, palliatives, whatever, opens up society to the point where
in Los Angeles. To be honest with you, I thought he was going to end up with the Chargers. I thought if anybody could, with the way the Chargers been struggling to get, you know, fans in the seat, you know, Cam has got the looks, he's got the talent, he's got that LA player swag. It just seemed like it would make sense. He would be able to bring, you know, seats in the air. He's got that thing where people are going to want to come see him. And I just thought it would make sense on so many different levels. And when I saw that the Chargers were going in a different direction, that was kind of a head-scratcher for me.
Well, I mean, I think they YOLO'd with Brady, didn't work, and that was it. They weren't going to go YOLO with somebody who might have a foot, shoulder, or what have you. But to me, I thought that they would. Sorry, I'm allergic to this conversation.
What do you think he might end up, Rich?
I don't know. Somebody's got to get hurt first. Somebody's got to get hurt.
But listen to what you're saying. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That someone has to get hurt.
But the reason why,
get a job?
Yeah, the reason why I brought up palliatives and I brought up therapeutics, it's because somebody's got. Although I got to tell you what, man, I keep saying this, but they gave Brady a physical. Apparently Todd Gurley had to get a physical. I mean, physicals could be gotten through reputable physicians that everyone can agree on is good enough. Cam is also like if somebody wants to hire him, you can send a plane for him, right? And then he can show up somewhere, hopefully COVID-19 free, and get this physical. It's really weird, man.
You know what? You know where he should go. Okay. Real talk. I'm just thinking about this.
Go for it.
And I know I went on, people got crazy, and so I can't believe it. And then it happened when the Cleveland Browns got Case Keenum. I called that maybe 2-3 weeks prior to, and I said, they're going to go after Case Keenum because it makes sense. And I don't know the financials. I'm just kind of off the top. This is more of an emotional thing. But because of the different pieces that they have over there in Cleveland, I think you could make a case that I'm still not a believer in Baker Mayfield. I think he's a guy that's trying to manufacture leadership. I'm not saying that he's not talented, but there's just a couple of missing key pieces that he's missing. I think Cam Newton would be a better fit for the Cleveland Browns.
That would be amazing. I mean, if 2020 only could have that added to it too. I just don't know how that would happen though.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Wow, I can't even imagine. I mean, Cam the Odell and Cam the Jarvis and.
Can you
Baker,
imagine?
But hey, look, man, this is the truth, though. Baker, this is his evaluation season. They have set up. I've said this before. I'll say it with you here on the phone. That they have set up the ability to evaluate Baker in a way I wish the Jets had set up themselves to evaluate Sam Darnold. Unless they just feel that Sam Darnold's already been appropriately evaluated and it doesn't really matter. That they are going to just keep him past year 4, year 5, pick up his option, figure out what to do then. But this is truly a Baker Mayfield evaluation year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, it is. I thought last year was an evaluation, but then it turned into excuses. Well, this, that, and the other, and and to me it was kind of clear. And I think I saw it early when, and again, that manufactured leadership. I'm just going to try to fake it and call teammates out at the beginning during the off season, and then I'm going to try to talk my way through this, and I'm trying to fake it till I make it kind of thing, and then it just kind of went south, and there was so much hype, and again, that's a lot to carry on. There's a lot of hype, and then there's the stash gate and this and all this other stuff, and I'm like, this dude, he's not serious. He's more or less wanting to be famous. And especially too, when you're impressionable like that, and you get Odell Beckham in your locker room, he's got that cool factor. You want to be like him. I saw a lot of little copycat things I'm picking up on. As a player, you can pick up on that. Oh, he wants to be like him. Oh, he's acting like that. Oh, he thinks I'm like, no, dude, you're the quarterback. You got to be focused on ball. You got to be focused on leading that team with your play first before you start trying to dress and talk like, a quote-unquote leader. And, so anyways.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Couple more minutes left with Akbar Gbajabiamila here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so set the table for me. Sunday night, 8 Eastern time. I'm settling in, and what am I going to get? I'm going to get dogs. I'm going to get looking at all these wonderful, beautiful creatures on the planet, and somebody gets crowned the winner.
Yeah, somebody's going to get crowned. Okay. We're bringing back the Havanese, Bono, the Havanese dog who won last year, and he's obviously the favorite. Bono's the favorite to win it again.
Okay.
But there's some new dogs who are coming into the competition. You'll have your sporting group. You're going to have your working group. Those are the pretty dogs that kind of prance around, and they got that little strut. But the Beverly Hills Dog Show, the 2021, I think it's going to be a real good one. You're going to see some athleticism. You're going to see the pageantry. There you go. It's on NBC. It's what we have. It's a great sporting event.
I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. And if one of them goes potty on the floor, we see you going up with an envelope. Go up with an envelope to fix this thing.
My good friend Bo Derek. Bo and I have become really good friends over the years. Where she has her own shampoo line, and she provides me with all the shampoos for my dog. It's amazing product, by the way. But there are a whole bunch of celebrities that'll be out there to clean up the poop. Not me. I sit back. Okay. Mario Lopez. Nancy Lukin might flip out over there if she saw that. So
I got to be honest with you, Akbar. I learn more and more about you every single time you and I talk. So I did not know you and Bo Derek go way back. I just didn't know that.
Well, we don't go way back, but I mean, for the last 3 years, we've been at the Beverly Hills Dog Show.
Very good.
I guess 3 years is way back.
Okay, there's that. And I had no idea that when you would be leaving NFL Network after all those years, you would be going home to train, to dog train. I had no idea. Yeah, and then you were so good at that.
If you ever have problems with your dogs, I could, and now that I know you have pure breeds, I can maybe try to see if I can help your dog. And not to mention, I mean, you're very familiar with 90210. Did I get that right?
Well, we are very, look, I don't want a picture painted of me here that we have rescue dogs, and my wife just saw this golden, and it just happened to be, she thought it was, we didn't know that it was a purebred. It looked like a purebred.
Man. Rich, first off, your nickname is Rich because obviously you're rich. And you only selectively find a stray dog that's a pure breed.
Yes.
Only in 90210.
No.
Where you have
excuse me. The dog was right near Angel Stadium. So that's where the dog was, and we went and drove to go get her. And then the one that we drove was as far from. There wasn't a hill. There wasn't a Beverly. There wasn't Bo Derek. There wasn't anything where we picked up the White English Golden. I'll tell you that. All right. Nothing close to a perfect 10 where we drove and picked up that white English dog. Thank you, Chris.
Nice.
Thank
Well
you very
done.
much. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to let you slide on that.
But
I won't give you credit for what that.
Now he's such an excellent trainer, Chris. Now I know why Maurice Jones-Drew started using the proper bathroom at work. Is that wrong?
Wow.
Was that wrong?
Wow.
Was that
I
wrong?
I digress.
This conversation's off the rails.
It is officially off the rails.
Hey, you know what? That was a great tactic right there to get it off of you being rich and only selecting straight dogs that are purebred.
God, and here I thought the worst shortening of my name was Dick, and now we've got something else here.
Hey now.
We are officially off the rails, Akbar. But look, man, no, it's all good. I'm looking forward to seeing you on. I just love watching you. Look at you on network television on Sunday night, 8 Eastern on NBC, the Beverly Hills Dog Show, presented by Purina. I look forward to it, brother.
All right, thanks a lot.
Oh, stay in touch. Let's stay in touch.
Okay, now.
Take care. That's Akbar Gbajabiamila at Akbar _ Baja, which is it's the silent G, everybody. Silent G. Gbaja on both Twitter and Instagram. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.